Hi there, my name is Charity Majors and I have a quick pageant interview tip for you. If you are watching this for the first time and you don't necessarily know who I am, like I said, my name is Charity Majors and I empower pageant ladies and girl bosses to find their voice, to stand out among their crowd, to streamline their brand and build a message and a movement that changes the world. So like I said, I have a quick tip for you when it comes to pageant interview. And this actually gets into more of our subconscious and nonverbal communication. So if you can imagine with me for a moment, when you look around a room, whether you are, whether you're at work or at a conference or at church or at a fundraiser or whatever it might be, and you're just in a room with people, how do we subconsciously know more of what's called a dominant person or an alpha male or an alpha female? Well, some people say it's their posture, which that's absolutely some of it. Some of it might mean their eye contact, which is absolutely some of it. But here's the interesting part, is that the person with the most relaxed breath is actually subconsciously, that is who we start to understand, or that's how we choose that person as the alpha male or the alpha female. And this is, it might sound kind of funny and it might be somewhat of an interesting, you might have to kind of think outside of the box a little bit when it comes to this concept, but this really gets into our nonverbal communication and our subconscious programming. So I will explain some of this for you. Now, when it comes to language, us as human beings, this actually comes after our understanding of, or somewhat of our understanding of how the world works. So if you think about a child, a baby, when they are born, they don't necessarily know that a pen is what's called a pen, or that I am a mom, or that this person is a dad, or that this person is grandma, or that this is a ball, or whatever it might mean. And so those are things that we have to teach that child, which language comes after this interpretation of what the world around us looks like. So if you think about a baby, the foundation of who they are and their understanding of the world comes from the tone of our voice, our body language, how we interact with others, and all of this different body language and this nonverbal communication. Because like I said, they don't know language. They don't know, they don't know a cell phone. They don't know that that's called a baby food. Like a carrot, an apple, all of this different stuff, these names and labels that we put on things in the English language or in whatever other language you might speak or have heard of. Those are all labels and within language that we develop later on in life. So going back to this subconscious programming and this nonverbal communication, there is a foundation that is laid in every single one of us that is nonverbal. And it's based off of not only body language, it's based off of tonality of voice, it's based off of our eyes, it's based off of hand movements, and it's also based off of the breath. Now here's what's really interesting about the breath, is that when we get nervous, so if you think about pageant interview, right, this is typically, I believe that pageants are won or lost in the interview. And that's where we connect with the judges, it's where we share our story, share who we are, share our mission, share our message, share what we've been up to. And this is where, okay, if we do it effectively, then they're looking for us on stage and they're ready to write our names down or to vote for us as the title holder. And so when it comes to being nervous for interview, which is very normal, right? We get butterflies, we might shake a little bit, or our breathing gets a lot more shallow, so we start to breathe through our chest, through our upper chest here. compared to our diaphragm, which is, I'll move the camera down just a little bit lower, our diaphragm, which is right through here at the bottom of our lungs. And that diaphragm actually is what really starts to control the breath, but also establishing us as the alpha female in the group. And that's back to that subconscious programming, because when we're talking about a judge being charged or being in charge of choosing someone that is going to be the best for the pageant, they're put together, they are going to do really well as a representative, they are doing effective things in the community, all this different stuff that a lot of women have, it's going to come down to this gut feeling. Right? I know you've heard the gut feeling or the mention or whatever it might have been, to where all of a sudden the girl that wins is because there was a gut feeling that was there, and all of the judges feel it. And so this can get into her portraying, or the judges interpreting her more as that alpha female. And this, again, can be traced back down to the breath. So if we're breathing shallow, like up in our chest, we're going to get tight through here, we're going to get nervous. And what this actually does is it cuts off that communication to our body and into what's called our relax and our digest system of our brain, compared to our fight or flight brain. So if we're breathing short and if we're breathing shallow, we are in this fight or flight mode within our nervous system. So in our brain and all of the nerves that fire and control everything in our body. And when we are in that fight or flight mode, we fumble over our answers, we forget things, we are not focused, we talk really fast, and we lack that true connection with someone. Right? Because if we're breathing really shallow and we are talking really fast because we're really nervous, and all of a sudden I'm fidgeting a little bit, and then I'm trying to get across my answer and I can't really remember, and right now all of a sudden, like, and you might have felt that, like as I did that example, you might like feel really nervous right now. And that happens. So one tip that I want to give you when it comes to your breath is that before you walk into interview, even as you start the day, before you're getting ready for interview, is to do some breathing exercises. And you can do this by taking your thumb, putting it right on your diaphragm, which is kind of right below your brow strap line, and push, like as you breathe in, push your thumb out, so filling your belly and your diaphragm with air, and then as you exhale, you're pushing it back in. So it's going to kind of look like this. I'll do it this way. Okay, so we're going to kind of look like this is just a simple breathing exercise that gets you aware and present when it comes to utilizing your diaphragm. But then what it also does is it sends a signal to your nervous system that you are not in fight or flight and that you are in relax and digest. And this is where we can slow down, we can have clarity, we can connect with someone, we can pick up on their nonverbal cues, we are able to control more of our verbal cues, and we then start to establish ourselves more as that dominant or that alpha female or that alpha male. So again, a simple exercise is to breathe, is to calm down. Take some big deep breaths even before you go in and introduce yourself, before you walk into the pageant interview, even as you're sitting down in the chair. Inhale, exhale, and start to connect with your judges. So I hope that this gives you a great little, not only a morning routine, but also just a breath work routine so that your message can be heard by the judges, so that you come in calm and confident and ready to share your story. Because like I always say, I truly, truly believe that you and your message is here for just a time as this. And the title and the crown of pageantry is an amazing way to amplify whatever message you have on your heart. And we can't do that to the bigger capacity that the crown can offer without connecting with the judges. So again, my name is Charity Majors. I would love, love, love to connect with you more. If you have questions, feel free to reach out, maybe leave a comment, or find me on my website, charitymajors.com. I will talk to you next time.